The decree of Adele and the temptation of fine wine were enough to ignite the dwarves' fiery enthusiasm for work. The plan was proceeding smoothly as expected. They quickly gathered together and lit up the forges. Forging a magical tool required mining ore, enchanting it with mana, and receiving the blessings of the gods before it could be successfully completed. The forging techniques for each type of magic item were still clear in their minds. Lin Tian worked diligently amidst the cheers of the dwarf women. To better grasp the dwarves' forging craft, he personally went down into the mines. Surrounded by several dwarves fussing over him with attentive care, Lin Tian could only force a wry smile. He hadn't expected things to get this troublesome, but for the sake of the plan, he had to endure it for now. The table before them was filled with food. Adele sliced a piece of meat and said, "I didn't expect my dentist to be so outstanding. Even the mining is done personally by you. With someone like you as an example, even the nobles have become much more diligent." Lin Tian, sitting beside her, replied calmly, "Your Majesty, this is only what I should do." Then he suddenly took her hand and smiled, "My dear, today is the first day of ore mining. Although all the wine in the city tonight will be bought out by the royal family, to be sure, I should still go patrol and cheer up the workers, just to prevent complaints." Lin Tian smirked inwardly. In truth, he just didn't want the wine to delay the progress of forging. Adele looked at him worriedly. "It's so late. What if you run into danger?" "Danger?" Lin Tian was taken aback, then laughed confidently. "Even corpse-eating demons don't scare me. Who else could possibly harm me?" At a certain tavern, Lin Tian waved goodbye to the crowd with a smile. His eyes curved into crescents. "I'll head out first. Everyone, drink as much as you like. As long as we work hard, we'll live a life without ever lacking fine wine." The dwarves, their faces flushed from drink, lifted their bottles and laughed. "Your Highness Dennis, thanks to you, we have endless good wine to enjoy." A burly, round dwarf patted his chest proudly. "Don't worry, Your Highness. For this wine, we'll forge the finest magic tools." Lin Tian sighed in relief as he turned to leave. "Seems the fine wine strategy works perfectly," he thought. "Now I can finally relax." After a while, he arrived before a shabby little tavern, the last stop of his patrol tonight. The place looked remote and deserted, clearly not a popular spot. Lin Tian chuckled to himself. "After such a long day, maybe I'll grab a drink to unwind." He reached for the doorknob and gently pulled. From inside came a sweet voice, "Welcome, dear guests, to our tavern." A waitress dressed like a maid approached, holding a tray of drinks with a bright smile. "Would you like a glass of our finest liquor, sir?" Lin Tian froze. Something felt off. The entire tavern was filled with women, all of them staring at him with teasing smiles. He muttered under his breath, "In all the taverns before, it was nothing but men. So all the dwarf women were gathered here?" Cold sweat trickled down his temple. "This isn't good." The women's eyes gleamed as they closed in. Lin Tian panicked, turned around, and tried to leave, only to find the door locked. "When did they lock it?" he shouted in alarm. Two girls approached and pulled him into a chair. "So it's Prince Dennis himself. Are you thirsty, Your Highness?" One said sweetly, "Come. Have a drink." Another maid appeared with a bottle. "Please try our tavern's special brew. It's delicious," she said, pouring him a glass. "Go on, Your Highness, you'll love it." Lin Tian grabbed the glass and gulped it down in one go. Glug glug glug. "Wow! As expected of Prince Dennis." One girl cheered. "So impressive." Another clapped happily. Lin Tian slammed the empty glass on the table, face darkening, then suddenly erupted in flames, his body flushing red and sweating profusely. He grabbed the bottle to inspect it, and his eyes widened at the label, "Special Spirit Brew, Alcohol Content, 92%. "Damn it!" was all he managed to shout before collapsing face first onto the table. The women gathered around him, eyes sparkling like predators. When he slowly opened his eyes again, his vision was still blurry. He sat up, only to find himself lying in a huge bed, surrounded by the tavern girls from last night. Seeing the scene before him, Lin Tian screamed, "Oh shit! What the hell happened?" He staggered up, trembling as he opened the door, clutching his sore back and aching body. Damn it, he muttered darkly. At this rate, I'll be played to death by women in this dwarf kingdom. In the Queen's palace, Adele's tearful voice echoed, Hoo. My dear, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have let you go out last night. Lin Tian lay limp on the bed, completely drained, voice trembling weakly. My dear, I think I won't make it. Adele held his hand against her cheek, her eyes full of pain. No. You have to hang on. Don't leave me, please. Lin Tian tilted his head to the side, his soul practically leaving his body. Adele screamed in horror, No. Half a month later, the sky was bright and clear. Lin Tian sat on the bed, his legs dangling down. Finally. I can get out of bed, he murmured. Looking at his hands, he whispered, Ever since I came to this world, I've faced countless dangers and enemies. But this is the first time I've ever suffered so miserably. I almost died, he muttered, stroking his chin with a grim expression. All right then, time to simulate my life, craft the magic tools, and get out of this cursed place. He looked at the system interface hovering before him, displaying the words, Awaiting life simulation event. Suddenly, Lin Tian frowned. Wait a second, he said aloud. I almost forgot. There's still something important.